Welcome back to the second episode of F123 MyTeam. And today we are back in Saudi Arabia, the second race of our season. After the point scoring finish we had in Bahrain, we're heading into Saudi Arabia with a bit of optimism that maybe the car isn't a complete tractor. But we'll have to see, because here we go in our third, in Q1, and we're currently in the third sector as we quickly post a quickest second sector. We'll have to see on how this car is faring, because us getting purple sector 2 bids really well as we are now heading down to the finish line and we get a 1:29.9. That is one of the best results we've had, and we get P1 after Q1. This is a good sign for us heading forward. Now, our teammate Jack didn't fare too well, but we can't really blame him. So hopefully can carry the team here in Q2 as we are in the third sector, yet again heading into the last corner. As we brake, we miss the apex a tiny bit, but we do have a good exit, and as we approach the line, we get a 1:31. That should be a good enough time to bring us into Q3, which it does, as we end up in P5 after Q2. Now, all we have to do is keep up this momentum and see how far up we can be in the grid order. And here we go, our first run of Q3 in the same sector in the past qualifying stages we have, and we missed the apex that time. But here we go, as we head down the straight, cross the line, we get a 1:29.6, and that was only good enough for fourth. And we go for a second run as we head into the last DRS, not to the last, but into the last sector 3, into the last corner. We keep it tight in the apex this time, but we have a poor getaway when we lost 2/10 on that takeoff. But now we cross the line with 3/10 improvement and we finish P5. Man, I was really hoping that with that 3/10 improvement we would be higher, but no, we were almost half a second slower than Perez
and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, we know if we got that 2/10, we would have been in front of Hamilton and be in third, but we'll see what we can do during the race.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Roberts, Russell, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Albon, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Sainz, Tsunoda, Zhou, Oscar Piastri, Doohan, Sargent, Doohan, That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And joining me once again in the commentary box today is, of course, former World Endurance Champion Anthony Davidson. Can we start by having a chat about Sergio Perez?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? A couple of favourites for the win then, but who comes out on top doesn't really matter as long as they give us an entertaining show en route to the checkered flag. And we want to see fair fighting, of course, out there on the track. Let's hope the stewards don't have to get involved too much today.
Red lights is out, and here we go. We got a good start. We go past Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc, and dive inside turn one. We give Leclerc a bit of space, but he would kind of have to go through the curve. And we are now leading the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. And we go a little bit. We were just shocked. We kind of overshot that a bit, but hey. We're getting our bearings down. We're going through these corners properly. But that was a shocking start. The top three all had really slow starts, or at least slow compared to us. And then now we're leading the race. How long will this last? I have no clue. Because this is insane. I'm speechless. Also, the fact that we got the car to 4th place in this track. Hey, it's one of our better tracks that we tend to do. Me as a driver, have tended to do well in this track since it was introduced to F1. F1 the game, to clarify, but. Here we go, to the last corner, side by side with Leclerc. We had more speed going into it. We're managing this race. Leclerc is attacking. Perez is attacking Hamilton. We definitely kind of give Leclerc a bit of a squeeze as we try to get more, space on the outside to have a faster entry into turn one. And as everyone squabbles behind us, it's giving us the squabbling behind us kind of gives us a tiny bit of a gap here and there, but the faster cars are all, of course, faster. We are on the mediums. You could see Leclerc on softs. I think even Hamilton's on softs. Perez is on softs. How are we? The fact that we got a better start than these three is mind-boggling. And the more that they fight, as you see right now in the time delta, the more that, especially on the slower corners or the wider corners, we are getting a bit of separation. But when they stop fighting, like right now, you see Hamilton just is on the back of our car, sniffing that gearbox. But this is, since we're leading, we are basically holding up the top three cars, and we're just defending like there's no tomorrow. We're defending pretty cleanly, as I might say. We haven't taken out the elbows yet. Keyword yet. But here we go, back to turn one. Hamilton tries to go for the inside. Perez keeps his line. And does he keep the position? No, Hamilton is able to go ahead of Perez and try to catch up with us. But this is the good thing, for us at least, is the fact that we're on mediums. And then the three cars behind us are all squabbling. That kind of benefits us in the long term, as Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc is all fighting, and then Alonso, Verstappen's appearing. A lot of people are just we're basically making at this point the entire grid a DRS train, because it is lap 3. We see Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc all have their DRS. We're kind of squeezing some ERS here and there, especially on the straights. Here, on the... I was about to say the back straight, but it's not really a straight, but this DRS section right here, we're gonna use a bunch of ERS, and I honestly, you know, after race thought is post race thoughts is basically like, damn, I could have played DRS chicken there, because I mean, eventually we'll have to, you know, because we don't have unlimited battery in this in this race. And since this is a fast track, there's not a lot of heavy braking zones that I could think of right now off the top of my head. We're not gonna, you know, always get a fully recharged battery until, you know, we get that upgrade, which in my opinion we're not gonna go get anytime soon. But here we go. We see Perez taking a sniff of our inside as he goes. He kind of closed the door on him, and he had to lift a little bit, and that allows Hamilton to overtake Perez once again. And the top four is basically running away with this, because you see Russell like almost 2.5 seconds behind, having like you know, Alonso, Verstappen, Gasly, and then Norris is having another train-ish behind him, and then Bottas until the bottom is another train. But oh my god, we just missed. Hamilton overtakes us in the last corner, but this is part of the plan. We're playing DRS chicken. We have DRS. Turn on our ERS, and we just blast past Hamilton, and Hamilton tries to block off Perez. Perez on the inside. We force him wide, and we take the lead once again. That part we got the elbows out. It's I feel like, do I have shame? Maybe. But as we're approaching this part, you see that we let Perez go past us as he is on an RB on a faster car. Here's some cheeky DRS chicken. Turn on our DRS, bump in that ERS, and we're gonna go just barely past Perez. Keep the outside line. Inside in turn 2, Perez goes wide-ish, and Hamilton kind of had to sniff there, but he didn't. He backed off. I was thinking Hamilton would actually go for that, but I guess it was a bit of a risky situation that might cost him his front wing, maybe. But you know, hindsight is 2020, and here we go. We see Hamilton going for it on Perez, and goes on the outside. Has better. Ooh, there's a bit of contact, and Perez had a little moment there trying to fight with Hamilton, and this is allowing us to gain more time. And with the squabbling of Perez and Hamilton, Leclerc was 1 second behind us and is now back within half a second. And here's another DRS section where I feel like this section's really, in my opinion, I mean the middle sector. And there goes Perez, who goes on the outside. He has so much speed, he just links himself through. But we're gonna try to go on the outside of it. Cheek, turn on some DRS on there, and ERS is on, DRS is on, and we say goodbye to Checo Perez. Oh, well, I guess Checo actually dumped some ERS too on that straight, because I thought we were gone. But unfortunately not. I feel like this is one of the closest times Checo has been on us after a turn 1, because usually on a turn 1 we kind of have a cleaner, a better takeoff than Perez does. So this is, I mean, now that we kind of carved out half a second here, it's not that bad, and we're slowly getting some. I feel like because we went with a more, in my opinion, balanced setup, kind of allows us to we kind of have more speed on corners than straights. I feel like that's where we're losing a lot of the time, and that's what allows Perez to really catch up on us. And here we go. He's a tenth behind us with DRS. We're tapping some of that ERS. Ooh, here we go on the outside. Perez is ahead. I think this is one of our DRS chicken moments. And Perez, and we get DRS. Perez, Hamilton, Leclerc all went for the pits as they were on softs. And now, because Russell's DRS train kind of caught up with all the fighting behind us, Russell's within DRS, which wasn't what we were expecting, but you know, we kind of just have to play this chill. And we see Verstappen a bit in the background. This has been a weird off race for Verstappen, as I mean, then again, it's a street race, so but still, you know, it makes sense Perez is up front, but Verstappen shouldn't really be that far behind. So I feel like this is one of those off races for him. And as we try to stay a bit longer on these mediums so we can give those softs more life as we reach to the end of the race. So now all we're doing is really just hoping that this strategy works. And we see that Alonso is on a medium tire with us, so our strategy isn't, you know, a wild one, you know, because we see Alonso, Verstappen, Norris, Ocon, Albon, Tsunoda are all on mediums, and here we go. We have Alonso going for it, and we concede the position. No, we don't. We actually push Alonso off, and that would make a lot more sense. We pitted. I was like, wait, that made no sense, but hey, now it does. It's like, okay, we're pitting, and from the looks of this, where is Perez? And Perez, Leclerc, Hamilton all goes out. We lost so much time going on that strategy, and now we go outside behind Russell. We basically lost 5 places by trying to go on mediums instead of softs. But hindsight is 2020. I see that the rest of we kind of went wide there. Oops. But we see that the rest of the field, after going for softs, they went for mediums. I mean, man, like, God bless them for their tire wear control or their skill to manage tire wear. I'm here like burning through my tires, because my original plan was going from mediums to softs. But then as I saw like how bad the mediums were, and when we pitted at lap 10, I don't think I can make softs last another 8 laps. That's why I changed on the fly to switch to hards, because air drag's just too high. We need to get that upgraded. One of our focus, you know, we need to focus on upgrading those eventually. I mean, I would say within the year, or at least before the halfway point, because I don't think, especially for high deg circuits, you know, Canada, Miami, that's where we're gonna suffer. So right now, all we need to do is basically keep our head down, keep on racing, and we'll see what happens. because right now we're kind of losing sometimes to the front runners as they're all in the DRS train. So hopefully they fight a bit more so that we could actually catch up a bit. And with all this fighting, you could see us in the background. We're within a second. We're in DRS, and we can basically fight for third. 5 laps left. They're all on mediums. They're probably burning through those. And we see Hamilton overtake Perez. Ooh, and they go in the last corner. Who has DRS? I think Perez. Perez leads, and Hamilton gets DRS. As he passes Perez through the front straight heading into turn 1, Hamilton covers the inside line and gets a nice pass through. Now, here we go. We go overtake both Leclerc and Gasly. And we kind of take a lot of curb in turn 2. But with the grip of the car this year, it wasn't much of an issue. We did lose a bit of time, but now it's up to us to catch up to Russell. And Russell is actually catching up to the front runners as they're squabbling within themselves, so they're losing time. But now that we bought some gap, we bought some time between us and our train of cars aren't fighting anymore, then that allows Russell to drive faster. And right now he is on the faster car, technically on the faster tire, but we don't know how bad the deg is of these well-established teams compared to ours, because ours was really horrendous. That's why I went on hard. So now we'll just try to stay at the back of Russell, get that DRS, we'll tug along. You see the light blinking behind our car. We are at 10%. That's just for us to keep up with Russell, because we're on the slower car. We're the car that is out of place right now. And you see on the back, Leclerc overtakes Gasly. Alonso overtakes Verstappen. Alonso and Verstappen are tugging, and Sainz joins the party. We go 3 wide in turn 1, 3 wide to turn 2. Alonso being on the short end of that stick, being squeezed out on the inside, and Verstappen comes in front of that 3-way battle. Man, Jeddah has a lot of action, and I feel like Verstappen, although having probably some car issues right now with the fact how slow they are, because you could see Sainz fighting him on the straight, goes on the outside, and Verstappen loses that position just like that. And Sainz is starting to pull away, but Alonso's hounding him as well. So this is just a bad race for Verstappen. And we see now Leclerc kind of falls back behind us. It's 5-6 seconds. I'm assuming he's chewing through. He basically chewed through his tires, I'm assuming. I don't see any damage on that front wing. And Gasly goes for the overtake through the outside, in the lead in the last corner. But Leclerc stays close, which allows him to get DRS. And will Leclerc be able to slingshot himself? Goes in the inside, gets a nice clean pass, and you see Sainz, Verstappen, and Alonso duking it out again. But this time, Sainz gets the overtake and keeps the position. What do we see here? Sainz does keep the position after taking the inside line, while Verstappen was kind of pushed off or left some space. We'll never know. But time to tune up back up here. Since we've been following Russell this entire time on lap 16 of 18, we are now in a DRS train with the front runners, with Perez and Hamilton. with the help of Russell tugging us along, we've been just staying in his DRS range the entire race. Now we can catch up with the front runners. And then this is where we basically pounce on our chance to get Russell. Because, I mean, yes, he does have DRS now, but this also puts us within striking distance of second. Maybe if we're ambitious, first. But important thing now here is we are on lap 17. We are behind Russell, and you see Hamilton, Perez duking it out. Perez goes the inside line, has a slower exit, but Hamilton having the outside line, faster exit. This now gives us... We are now literally in striking distance of the podium places, because Russell's just a tenth behind Perez. We're 4 tenths behind Russell. The only thing that's stopping us now, and we see Russell going for the outside move, carrying all that speed, and he does finish that move on Perez. And here we're trying to be a little bit cheeky, burning some ERS, goes on the outside, passes Perez. Oh, we cut the corner. We cut the corner. Oh man. I don't see a penalty. I don't see a penalty flag on our name, so I guess we just got a warning. Perez lost 2 spots. Oh no! Russell's engine blew out, and he is out of the race. Now we are second. Okay. That changes the whole game. Russell blew his engine out. Russell is out of the GP. This allows us to strike at Lewis Hamilton. We are on the last lap. We have a second behind Hamilton. We have Perez right behind us as well. It's basically minus Leclerc. This is basically the 3 cars fighting at the start of the race. But now this gives us, and this puts us in a better position than Hamilton. Why? We have 2 DRS zones where we can get the overtake. But my opinion is we use in the coming DRS zone now to basically get close, set ourselves up for the last DRS zone to overtake Hamilton. So here we go. Second DRS section, open our DRS, keep it close with Hamilton as we ride on board on our car. Kind of 3 tenths, but this should be good. We turn on our DRS, turn on our ERS. We're gonna slingshot pass through Hamilton. Hamilton's light is blinking. He's less than 10% ERS. And we give him a good old squeeze on, give him some space, but good old squeeze. Get on the gas, punch the ERS, and we cross the line and get our first win of the season. We beat Hamilton by 400ths of a second. Oh my God, what is this? I can't even imagine.
And that brings the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to a close as we reflect on the team's impressive performance today.
This is one
talk to me.
One hell of a race.
What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here comes your top 3 making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One.
Look at us repping that flag. And we get our first race win in Saudi Arabia. It's not a complete surprise because this is where our first win came in last year, and generally I do well in this track, so celebrations all around the team, and that was really one hard-fought race. But with us getting P1, we move up the standings and an overall better result for us.
Now, let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver
That
who's
is
managed
my
to pull off an
F123
especially impressive
My
finish
Team
during the
Series
race. However, in
episode
this instance,
2.
I was more impressed
Tune
by
in
Max
for
Verstappen's
episode
solid
3,
driving
and
throughout
if you
the
guys
event.
enjoyed the
Let's move on to
video,
the
please like
constructors. pulling
and
further
subscribe.
ahead in the standings, it's
I hope you
Red
guys all
Bull.
have
I mean,
a
all
great
parts
day in front of
exhausted
you,
and elated with this
and
weekend
until
of
the
Formula
next time,
One, so be
this is
sure to join
Spinal
us
12,
for the next one.
signing out.